Now, though, I want to go to the real question of the hour, and you kind of brought it up. Is any of this legal? Ashley Merchant says absolutely no way, but Anahita Sedaghatfar says she actually has no problem with the rules. Let's start with you, Anahita. No problem with this at all?
I actually don't have any problem with these rules because I think they're more clear. It provides more transparency because currently, as the law reads, it defines political activity kind of like in a wild, wild west definition, which says it's based under facts and circumstances, Charles. And that's what gives IRS employees the discretion, the subjective discretion to make that determination. That's what led to the IRS scandal. That's what led to the IRS targeting these conservative groups.
Right.
So I think it's good that now these new rules actually define what constitutes political activity. And at the end of the day, Americans want the IRS to be neutral. We don't want them to have a political agenda. So possibly these rules will provide that neutrality.
But actually,
for the
some
IRS.
people would argue that these rules actually establish a political agenda, and it's pretty tough on the right.
Definitely, and I agree with that. And I think the produce.
Yeah, Anahita, should that be the role of the IRS? Listen, it seems like their role is expanding and evolving so much from the involvement in the new Obamacare law to these kind of things. Shouldn't we be a little leery about the IRS even gaining more power and more objectivity, if you will?
Well, I actually think that it's not giving them more power. I think under the current rules as they read, it's giving them more power because you're leaving it in the hands of IRS employees to make willy-nilly decisions. So this is actually giving structure to the code. It's actually providing concrete definitions. And I disagree with your earlier guest. You're speaking with Mr. Carlson that I don't think this is a constitutional issue. And if this goes to court, it won't be defeated on a constitutional basis because it's not prohibiting free speech. These organizations can still conduct political activities.
Can they register people to vote?
Well, the issue will be, the issue will be that they can't make that their primary objective. That's not what non-exempt or exempt entities are. That's not what they're supposed to be doing. That's not their purpose. So these rules are just ensuring that they can still engage in these activities, but they're not entitled to non-exempt status. That's not a constitutional right.
Again, it seems like, you know what, the gray area is starting to come up there. We got a shadow here, an interpretation issue. Where do you see this going? Do you think, to Tucker's point, that maybe it will be resolved ultimately in the Supreme Court?
I do.
All right, guys, let's leave it there. Obviously, we'll have you back later on this. Hey, still ahead, executive action.